These people are truly morons. You know what I mean? And I like how they go after Scott Atlas because he's not an epidemiologist, but Sanjay Gupta now magically is. I mean, give me a break, Laura. The reality is this. If you look, I put it up on my Instagram a couple days ago because I went through the CDC data because I kept hearing about new infections. But I was like, well, why aren't they talking about deaths? Oh, because the number is almost nothing. Because we've gotten control of this thing. We understand how it works. They have the therapeutics to be able to deal with this. If you look at that, look at my Instagram, it's gone to almost nothing.
That was Donald Trump Jr. last night on Fox News with Laura Ingraham downplaying the severity of COVID-19, of the coronavirus. Basically lying while doing so, saying that the scientists and the Democrats and the millions of Americans that are actually doing their part to wear masks and social distance are being stupid, they're morons, because apparently, according to Donald Trump Jr., the coronavirus deaths are down to almost nothing, apparently. This is on a day that 1,000 people lost their lives. 1,000 people to this particular illness. And he says it's almost nothing. It's absurd. It's absolutely absurd. And in addition to that, 90,000 new cases. It was, I think, the record-breaking day for cases. You know, going all the way back to the beginning of this, when it was, ravaging New York, there weren't 90,000 cases nationwide in one, 24-hour period. And now there are. There might not be one absolute hotspot anymore like there was at the very beginning, but it's everywhere in the US now. Nowhere is being spared, really, and that means that cases are on the rise. As well, hospitalizations are on the rise. And while that doesn't necessarily mean you're going to see a spike in the amount of people passing away from the coronavirus, that is generally a precursor to it. More people getting it, and more people getting it and obviously having serious enough symptoms that they have to go to the hospital is going to lead to more people passing away from it. And in some cases, you are returning to a situation where local health infrastructure is becoming overwhelmed. And that's what really starts to hurt people, because if you have enough medical equipment, ventilators, and these sorts of things, then maybe you can save more lives. But if you don't have enough of them, doctors have to start to triage, and they should never have been in that case in the first place. They should have never been put in that position, because people should be working to flatten the curve. And Donald Trump Jr. and Eric Trump and Ivanka Trump and Melania Trump and even Tiffany Trump, they're all hosting super spreader events. Either occasionally or, in the case of the president at least, every single day, often multiple times per day. And so this family, the first family, is personally, not only through their policies and through their rhetoric, but through their direct actions, they're basically taking the lives of many Americans. And as I've noted, and even as Dave Matthews on CNN yesterday, he was on CNN yesterday, even as Dave Matthews, the musician, noted, they're actually hurting directly the most loyal Trump supporters, because they're the ones that come to their very dangerous, non-social distancing, non-masked rallies. Whereas, Joe Biden, if he does have people at his rallies, they make the utmost effort to put social distancing lines. Everyone's wearing a mask. Biden wears a mask up until he comes up to the podium pretty much all the time. It's night and day. The only reason they're doing this, because he knows better. Donald Trump Jr., dumb as a post, even he knows better that this is serious. They know that. They're just saying this because they want to justify their actions, whether it's personal actions or whether it's the way that the Republican Party at the local and national level has approached this crisis. They want you to believe that it's basically done, that either it's on its way out, we've rounded the corner, or we've figured out how to stop people from passing away. But that's just not true. There is nothing to suggest that another wave of high passing away numbers of people dying from this is out the window. That is not something that scientists suggest. It could easily return. Fox News should be ashamed of itself. And I know Fox News should be ashamed of itself pretty much every hour of every day. But when it comes to this, even Laura Ingraham should have immediately, absolutely immediately, not even let him get through his remarks, shut him down, and basically said, Donald Trump Jr., sir, Don, you need to actually substantiate this. Your Instagram feed is not, the CDC. Your Instagram feed is not a communique from Dr. Fauci. You need to do better than that, sir. And Laura Ingraham, as much as Donald Trump and Donald Trump Jr. are responsible for what harm this remark is going to cause, Laura Ingraham is right up there in culpability because she has a national megaphone and she chooses it to give it over to people like Donald Trump that will cost people their lives.